Deadly police pursuits. It is easy to pick them apart after the fact, but in the moment, whose call is it to shut things down and weigh the risk to the public against the severity of the crime?
So DPS just finished reviewing the actions of their second in command, who sparked an off-duty deadly police pursuit in his personal truck. That's the chase you're seeing here. Fellow troopers say that if someone with a lower rank would have been doing this, they would have been fired. Nicole Kreitz reporting tonight.
I talked with current and former law enforcement officers, prosecutors, expert witnesses, and police trainers who tell me the opinion in the local law enforcement community is unanimous. This deadly pursuit broke policy and state law, and perhaps what's most concerning is while they would go on record, most would not go on camera because they say DPS higher-ups have been known to retaliate against people beyond their ranks.
I'm Deputy Director with DPS. I am currently driving eastbound.
The report is in on the DPS pursuit of a work truck stolen from a Gilbert construction site January 24th. It ended with the suspect dead, crashing off I-17 near Camp Verde.
So I don't know if these guys just stole the truck.
The basic findings cleared the department's second in command, Lieutenant Colonel Heston Silbert, who was off duty and gave chase in his personal vehicle. No lights, no sirens, running red lights and speeding, a violation of state law.
He's busting the red light.
His actions were deemed reasonable given the nature of the fluid and dynamic situation.
I don't think I could live with myself if I didn't, on or off duty, try to protect our community, because it's what I've sworn to do.
There's no excuse for it. It has to be dealt with, and I'm sure the driver and the department's going to try to wiggle their way out of it, but there's no way out. This was something that shouldn't have happened.
University of South Carolina criminal justice professor Jeffrey Alpert is considered a pursuit policy expert by the Justice Department. He says fatal pursuits should be reviewed with the same scrutiny as officer-involved shootings.
And because this was a high-ranking officer in a department, it may be that a different department should look into it.
We've confirmed through several sources. A major who suggested an outside agency handle this pursuit review for transparency got transferred shortly thereafter, and another DPS captain who pulled his men off the chase was transferred within a week. The department denies those transfers were punishment.
I got a black truck.
I think that's DPS too.
If anyone, supervisor, anybody can get a hold of this guy, and please have him give him some room and let him back off.
Critics say Silbert should have backed off as soon as marked units showed up and never should have followed this for nearly 100 miles.
I just didn't want you to lose sight of him. I'm cool with backing off.
Because Silbert was talking on his cell phone instead of radio, there were a lot of mixed messages from dispatch to stand down, then keep on it.
You could give me updates.
Troopers we talked with say their supervisors told them they'd have been fired if they'd done the same thing.
Anytime you have a high-ranking officer, or even a low-ranking officer, if you wink at an infraction, it just encourages it.
The report backs Silbert up, saying he's not out of policy because he was never in pursuit and that he only followed the stolen truck because Gilbert police asked him to.
So what I thought I saw, no matter what, was a strong armed robbery.
There are a lot of discrepancies.
What do we have this reported as? Can you tell me, is it a stolen vehicle?
Silbert had to ask the dispatcher what the suspect was wanted for.
I'm just trying to determine what kind of crime we got yet.
The Gilbert report says nothing about asking him to pursue, only that a black SUV pulled up. The driver shouted, "I'm with DPS," then accelerated after the truck. We asked if that Gilbert officer was interviewed for this report. DPS did not respond.
Here we go.
Ran a red light at Tatum, so be careful.
Silbert's subordinates say in addition to him personally saying he'd done nothing wrong, a lieutenant colonel announced the same thing at a district meeting.
Any kind of comment prior to an investigation being completed is premature.
And that's why we wanted to follow up. Troopers want to know how an internal review can be fair when the command staff declared an outcome before the investigation.
All units 1051, be advised the subject is suicidal.
The sole occupant of the stolen truck, 29-year-old Bradley Moore, an Army veteran with PTSD, died. And while no one else got hurt, it could have ended very differently. The DPS director denied my request for an on-camera interview. They say they're working on some retraining to make sure that there's no assumption on who is in command. A lot of people didn't want to step on Silbert's toes to shut this down. And also to make sure every patrol car uses full lights and sirens in pursuit. In this clip right before the crash, only the 6th DPS car back is using both lights and sirens. For the full report, go to our AZ Family News app now.